All right. Here's an AP problem from a few years ago. There is no snow on Janet's driveway when the snow begins to fall at midnight. From midnight to 9 a.m., snow accumulates on the driveway at a rate modeled by f of t equals 7t e to the cosine of t cubic feet per hour. So here is our rate at which the snow is falling. There it is. Sorry, I don't need to highlight all that. I'm getting used to this. Just this part here. Where t is measured in hours since midnight. Janet starts removing snow at 6 a.m. The rate g of t in cubic feet per hour at which Janet removes the snow from the driveway at t hours after midnight is modeled by this function. So what this is saying, she wakes up at 6 a.m., starts removing the snow. She doesn't remove any snow no snow per hour from 0 to 6. Then from 6 to 7, she's removing it at a rate of 125 feet per hour. Then she's removing it at a rate of 108 cubic feet per hour from 7 to 9. So A says, how many cubic feet of snow have accumulated on the driveway by 6 a.m.? So our highlighted formula is the rate of accumulation. If I want the net accumulation, I'll take this rate and integrate it. So integrate from 0 to 6, the rate, and we'll get a number. So let's take a look here. Whoopsie. Here's our calculator. Turn this thing on. So integrate from 0 to 9. I'll actually put I'll put this in y equals, so I don't have to type it again. 7x e to the cos x then we'll quit out of here, and I can just put now. I can go to vars. Whoops, I don't think I'm in the right place. Nope, I wasn't. We'll go to vars now. Whoops. Sorry, I'm just going to use this. Vars, y vars, enter, enter. dx, and it's not 0 to 9. I don't know why I typed that in. It should be 0 to 6. And here we are, 142.275. And thinking about the units, f of t is measured in cubic feet per hour. Time, or change in time, is measured in hours. So canceling out, we would get cubic feet, which is exactly what we wanted. We wanted how much snow was on the ground. All right, part B says, Part B says find the rate of change of the volume of the snow on the driveway at 8 a.m. Well, if you think about what's happening, at 8 a.m., Janet is shoveling away at the snow. So the snow continues to fall at this rate, and she's getting rid of it at this rate. So it's kind of a rate in, rate out problem. We want to figure out what our rate in minus the rate out. The rate in would be the rate evaluated at 8 minus the rate out. Well, she's getting rid of snow at 108 feet per hour at time equals 8, because 8 fits right in between 7 and 9. So this is how much the snow is falling. This is the rate at which the snow is falling at time equals 8. The rate out is 108 feet per hour, or cubic feet per hour. And so we'll do this on the calculator. If we want to be fancy, we can do vars, y vars, the function. I can evaluate y1 at 8 by doing parentheses 8 in front of the y, or after the y1, minus 108 And this equals negative 59.583, which makes sense because, if you think about it, it makes perfect sense that this is negative. This would be in cubic feet per hour if you're interested in the units. Which makes perfect sense because that means the snow is being removed overall, which is the goal when you shovel, at a rate of 59.583 cubic feet per hour. So it makes perfect sense. Part C says, let H of T represent the total amount of snow in cubic feet that Janet has removed from the driveway at time T hours after midnight. Express H as a piecewise defined function with domain 0 to 9. So we want to figure out how much snow she's removed, okay, T hours after midnight. Well, clearly, and they say we can make this a piecewise function. She doesn't remove anything on the interval 0 to 6. Okay? Then, every hour between 6 and 7, she removes 125 cubic feet of snow. So if we think about what that means, if, for example, if this was her rate for the whole time, right? And what 1 hour had passed by, that would be 125 times 1, which would be 125 cubic feet. If she keeps shoveling after a total of let's say 5 hours, that would be 125 times 5, which, forgive me if I'm wrong, but I believe 125 times 5 is what? 125? No, that's not right. Sorry. Well, let's see. 125 times 4, right? That gives us, that's half of 250 times 4, so that's 500. This is 625, right? So all we'd have to do, my point is we multiply the number of hours that we were shoveling times the rate. So we have 125 times the amount of hours that we're shoveling. But remember, T is hours since midnight. If I start shoveling at 6 a.m., okay, I would have to take the T value and subtract 6 from it, rather, because we didn't shovel for those first 6 hours. This would be valid from 6 to 7. Similarly, from 7 to 8, we're going to have, or 7 to 9 rather, we're going to have the same type of thing going on. But think about it. If we're past 7 o'clock, that means we shoveled for an hour at a rate of 125. So we already have shoveled 125 cubic feet of snow plus 108 per hour after 7 hours. So we'd have to subtract 7 from our T, similarly how we subtracted 6 from our T, which would be from 7 to 9. Part D. Really? Okay. I don't know where my extra screen went. Okay. Alright, I guess we'll do Part D here. So Part D. How many cubic feet of snow are on the driveway at 9 a.m.? Well, cubic feet of snow on the driveway at 9 a.m., we have to recognize that we have snow falling and we have Janet getting rid of snow at these rates. So the snow falling would be the integral from 0 to 9 of f of t dt. This, in effect, would give us something like total snowfall, minus how much she's cleaned up. Well, in the first hour, she cleaned up 125. And in the second and third hour, she cleaned up 108, or shoveled 108 of this per hour. But we're going from 7 to 9, so that's 2 hours. So this is 108 times 2. And so we can do this all on the calculator and get an answer. So Math 9, integrate from 0 to 9 of f of t dt. This is kind of why it's nice to put it in a calculator, because that way you don't have to keep typing it. Minus 125 minus 108 times 2 is 216. And here we get 26.335, or 334, depending on if you're truncating or rounding. I'll round. 26.335 cubic feet on the driveway. Now that took me 10 minutes to talk through. I think you could probably do it even quicker if you're astute.